Now for what's tipping the scales, Marcia Thompson waking up a free woman this morning after being found not guilty of the shooting death of her husband. When the verdict was read, the judge had to step in and control the gallery.
Ms. Thompson, having been found not guilty by a jury of your peers, you are free to go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not, I understand this may be a time to celebrate for you, but please recognize that someone lost their life.
We do.
Please.
So what tipped the scales in the jury's decision regarding what happened with Marsha and Terry Thompson? I am so pleased to welcome in a very special guest, someone who was inside the courtroom for the entirety of the trial, inside the jury box, as a matter of fact. We're so happy to have with us juror number 5, Gail, on the program this morning. Gail, good morning to you. Thanks for making time for us here on Opening Statements.
Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. So was this your first time serving as a juror?
This was absolutely my first time.
Oh, and what a case. What a case. This is just one it's tragic all the way around. And in a case like this, as you know, Gail, there are no winners. It's a legal finding, and now Marsha Thompson gets a second chance at life. What was really the biggest thing for you and your fellow jurors that convinced you that she was not guilty?
Well, first, there were lots of different holes in the evidence. There was different experts, and there was just a lot of indifference between some of them. We had a lot of missing pieces, a lot of inconsistencies, and, you know, some of us were right away feeling one way and a few the other way, and it didn't take too much time, but we got it done.
In terms of the defense witnesses, I'm so curious what you all thought of Dr. Michael Brannon, the expert who talked so much about battered person syndrome and really explained it. How convincing was he to all of you?
You know, all of the expert witnesses, I must say, they were extremely bright, educated, knowledgeable. They knew what they were doing. We heard all of them, even though there were inconsistencies on direct and indirect questioning. Michael Brannon, he was really a great guy. We didn't speak to him other than just listening, but he really was quite bright and a great witness.
Appreciate it, Gail. Gail, I want to ask you about Marsha and Terry Thompson. So let's start first with Marsha. Your thoughts on her and her testimony in particular.
I must say, Marsha lived an unbelievable last, you know, her life was difficult from the onset. What she endured, and the day after day of what she didn't know what was going to be behind the corner, the incidents at the golf outing, the incidents that she endured with him at birthday parties and at events, and the phone calls to her family. I am just so glad that we found her not guilty, and she is just going to live her best life now, and we're all so happy for her.
Oh, that's very sweet, Gail. Gail, what were the thoughts, the sentiment from you and your fellow jurors when it comes to Terry Thompson?
You know, I mean, nobody should pass away or die, whether it's cancer or a brain tumor or any other legal way to die. No one deserves to die. We heard so many things about Mr. Thompson. There was so much to absorb, and he just mistreated her, his first wives, his children, and everybody he got into contact with. And that's no way to be. He must have lived also a very sad, traumatic time during his lifetime.
It's terrible the way that he treated people that he should have been loving all the time. Gail, I'm curious, was there any feeling bad for Terry Thompson in that jury room?
Mainly, I will be quite honest with you, we talked about Marsha. There was talk about the way, the evidence that we had that he passed away, whether he rolled off the couch, how he got off the couch, was he reaching for her, what was going on in her mind during that time. Not anything about him as a person or emotions towards him. We had we were appointed with a job to do, and we did what we felt with the evidence provided, what we needed to do.
Gail, tell me, if Marsha Thompson hadn't testified, would you all have arrived at the same verdict?
Absolutely.
So did you expect
Absolutely.
to hear from her, or was that kind of just icing on the cake?
You know, we didn't know from morning to afternoon what we were going to endure. We walked in one morning and she was sitting on the stand. So obviously we knew. I'm glad she testified. I'm glad that she told everybody exactly what happened to her and what she experienced, and you know, that poor, terrible thing. She just didn't know what was coming at her from moment to moment or hour to hour.
Gail, I have to say, what a tremendous job you and your fellow jurors did in listening in on all of the evidence, considering all of it carefully, and following the law. Thank you for doing your civic duty and for coming on the show and telling us all about it. Gail, take good care. We've got to say goodbye. Every good wish to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're so pleased with the result.
Oh, my pleasure. And we're going to take a break now, as that is it for this episode of Opening Statements. You can watch it again on CourtTV.com. We'll be right back in Florida with the Black Swan murder trial.